when you have tomorrow night, when you have a Kriyas Seder, so you're not supposed to bust up that Seder. So
It doesn't.
yeah. So anyway,
It
so that's
doesn't
yeah.
sound like a woman saying Kaddish in shul is not a minhag. It sounds like it's asur, no? According to Kittzur.
Um he says Ain Lot Loimer, it doesn't say Aser. He's saying she shouldn't do it.
She shouldn't do it means it shouldn't be
No, it
done.
doesn't
Like
say
it's asur.
Aser. It doesn't say
No,
Aser. He's saying he should. I don't think that's a lashon of
I'm saying
Aser.
shouldn't do it. He doesn't say like the minhag is not to.
He says
He's saying
she
he shouldn't
shouldn't.
shouldn't say it.
Right. She
So it sounds
shouldn't.
like
She
it's
taka
asur.
shouldn't.
It sounds like it's nothing to do with minhag. No.
I don't know. I didn't understand it that way. I know there are
Uh
poskim that say that she can. There are poskim that say
huh.
that she can. So
In shul. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So anyways, Chafez, Aval Pisha Amiras Akadash Atfilas Ma'ilas La'avas. This is a major one. This everybody should, anybody who, I mean, we should never know from losing a parent, but this should be posted in every oval house. Even though Kaddish and davening helps for the parents, that is not the main point. The ikr is that the children should go in the proper straight direction. That's how they mezaka their fathers. And this is what's in the Zayar. Bein Yechabed of, a son is Mechabed his father. Kamada at Amar Kavedis Avicha Vesimecha. Bagman Mechilta Umishtaya. Right? Hold on, I just lost the place. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Va'oikme B'mechla Mishtaya, not Mechilta. With eating and drinking. Right? Ubakula Hai, and and all these things, B'chayav, this Chayav, and these things you could only be mechaved him when he's alive, meaning with eating, drinking, meaning giving him to eat, giving him to drink. Obviously, you can only do that when he's alive. Basar demis, but after the parent dies, itema hapoter who. So you're going to say now he's potter, right? He's potter from kibbut avaim because his parents are not alive. Lav hachi, that is not the case. Davagav demis, even though he died, is chayav biyakri yatir. He's actually chayiv to show more chashivas and more honor to the parents. The siv kabedas avicha says you have to be mechaber the father. Di hahu bra azul ba'erach tikla. For if a son goes in a bad way, vade mevazel avohu, he is definitely shaming his father. Vade ovid leklana, and it's definitely causing him embarrassment in the next world. V'yahu bra azul ba'erach mishar. But if that son goes in the straight and path, the takan of avidai, and he fixes what he's supposed to, then for sure that gives honor to the parent. It's a chashivas to the father by the people that are alive, because the people say, look at this child that he left. And in the next world, Hashem says, look what this man has accomplished, what he left on this world. And then Hashem has pity on him. And he's going to put him in a chosh of a seat, in a good seat up there. Ad kan l'shayne, that is the lashon of the Zohar. Ad kan, yeah, v'yesh lo la'adam l'tzavis. Oh, so this is an interesting thing. V'yesh lo la'adam l'tzavis is banav lahachzik be'ezah mitzvah. A person should command his children to do a specific mitzvah. Meaning, even though avadi you have to do every mitzvah, but he should give his kids a special in his will, I guess, or verbally before he dies. He should tell his kids that there's something a mitzvah to do, like lifnim mishuras adin. Let's say Hanukkah or Shabbos candles or Yartzeit candles or whatever it is. If mekayimin nechshav yosim and a kaddish, and if they're mekayim then it's more chashuv than kaddish. Hu takana toiva, and it's a very good takana. Gam lemisha ein leibanim elavanas, and that is a takana for somebody who only has sons and not daughters, right? Because we said before that the daughters don't say kaddish. So if you want to do something that the daughters will do something for the aliyah of the neshama, give the daughters a mitzvah to do in your honor, and then that would be a way for the women to be able to honor their parents, because they most of the time cannot say Kaddish in Shul. Fine. Simon Chav Zayin Hilchos Talmud Torah by Hey Seifim. So Aleph. Now the reason why this is brought after davening is because you're supposed to go from davening into straight to learn. That's the first thing you're supposed to do. So Achar Tefillah Yikvas Eis Luma Torah. After you daven, you should have a time to learn Torah. Tzarich Shaisa Eis Yikavua. This is what we were discussing before we started. That has to be a kavua. Shalei Yavirenu. You shouldn't pass over this learning seder. Afim Sover Larvia Charba. Even if you think you make a lot of money, still don't stop that seder. Let's say he has to do something very important. At least learn a pasuk or a halacha. Then do what's important, and then go back and finish what you're supposed to do. And some chashuva holy congregations, they have a cheves kedoshas lumater barabim miyad lachar tefillah. Like a lot of shuls have somebody say a halacha or a speech while everybody's wrapping up the tefillin. And any Yerushalayim should go to that type of gehila where they do this mitzvah. But you see the chashivas of making sure that your set time to learn is never ignored. Let's see.
So somebody's basically family or friend is doing a bris. You stick to your seder.
Yeah, it's a very tough question. Each question has to be answered on an individual case to
Uh-huh.
case
But
basis.
he's saying even for a large profit. So it sounds like it's like probably the most of thing is to stick to your seder.
Yes, but there's also chesed, there's also akaras atoiv, there's
Uh-huh.
also
Uh-huh.
making machloikis. There's lots of variables, lots of
Uh-huh.
variables. Also nowadays, you have to drive to the bris. You can put on a shear, right? You can. There's a lot of
Uh-huh.
ways that you can
But it's
learn.
still not your regular. It's still not your
It's
chevruta.
That's true. That's
Right.
true. But sometimes things
Right. So you're saying you can
nochutz moed.
compensate for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Bays, call issue. It's funny, like the guys that say, "Nah, I can't go to the bris," but then they go to the bris and they sit by the Suda till the end to end. They eat 4 bagels and donuts and cake, and I was like, "Well, what happened to your seder now, buddy? Nobody needs you to eat that much." Pays, yeah. Kolish Yisrael Chayav Luma Torah. Everybody is chayav to learn Torah. Bein ani, bein asher, whether he's poor, whether he's rich. Bein shalom begufoy, bein bal yisurim, whether he's complete body, whether he has punishments. Bein bacher, bein zaken gadol, whether he's young, whether he's old. Afilu ani amaser al psachim, even if he's an ani that makes his money from knocking on doors. Chayav lekvaya loizman letalmud Torah v'yom v'layla. He has to have a zman to learn during the night and during the day, or during the day and during the night. Shenemar v'gisa v'yom v'layla. You have to learn Yom V'Layla. Now, he's being makel the Kittzur because the way most understand, it's a machlokes in the Shulchan Aruch. The way that most understand is V'gisa B'Yom V'Layla means you have to learn 24/7 unless you are busy with going to the bathroom, earning a living, or etc. etc. Eating, meaning the default is 24/7, and unless otherwise noted. The other shita is no, you have to learn during the day and you have to learn at night, but you don't have to learn 24/7. Right? So he seems to be paskening like this shita, which is much more lenient for us. Right? Umishene Yadel Club of the Shulchan Aruch says
The
we
what?
go
What
the
do we
other way.
call? We call 24/7. No.
We hold 24/7. Yeah, but it's interesting that he's saying it this way.
Uh-huh.
Right? Umishene Yadel Klal. Let's say somebody doesn't know how to learn, which is the previous generations in Europe. Right? Nowadays we don't have that so much. So he can't because he's very busy. Yaspik la'acherim alayim, and then he should get others to learn for him. But the chashiv like ki'ilu loimed ba'atzmai, and it's as if he's learning himself. Right? Um,
This is the
and then
whole thing with supporting learning on Torah. And
yes, this is Yisachar Zvulun. As we're going to
Yeah,
say
it
in a minute.
mentions it.
He's
It
going to say
mentions
it in a
it.
minute. Yes, let's see. Kamasha darshu Rabbeinu Zechron L'Bracha b'pasuk smach Zvulun b'tzeisecha v'Yisachar b'yalecha. Zvulun v'Yisachar also shutvis. Zvulun and Yisachar made a shutvis. Zvulun also b'schayra. Zvulun did the business. V'hispik Yisachar parnasai, and he gave Yisachar his parnasai. She le pnai lasik l'tay b'tayra that she'd be able to learn Torah. There's a huge tshuva from Ramosha on this.
About the split.
about how to do it. Ramosha basically says they have to split the money 50-50. Meaning you have a multimillionaire. He's making, I don't know, $10 million a year. He's got to give $5 million to the learning guy if he wants to get half, right? It's only fair. He's taking half the Torah, so why shouldn't he have to give half the money? As far as I remember, that's what Ramosha Be'etzim comes out. Other parts can say it doesn't have to be like that. You can make whatever deal you want. Anyways, Lafika Hikdim HaPasuk Zvulun Yisachar. That's where the Pasuk puts Zvulun before Yisachar. When Isha Terasa Shal Yisachar, Al Yidei Zvulun Haisa. The Torah for Yisachar only happened because of Zvulun. V'chein Matzina B'Mishnah Shimon Achi Azariah Omer. Right? It says the first parak in Zvachim. It says Shimon Ach, the brother of Azariah. Right? V'nikra Shimon Al Shem Achiv Azariah. He was called Shimon from the Achiv Azariah. Azariah was a businessman. And they made a t'nai that they should have a chelik together. But even so, every person has to try hard to learn. Even a little. Every day and every night. Meaning, so even though you have a Yisachar Zvulun, you still have to learn. Now, the question is the Yisachar losing half his Torah? So many learn that way, that he's giving up half of his Torah. Right? He's getting half his money, he's giving half his Torah. But Rav Chaim Volozhiner and others say, no, he's not. It's like a candle. Torah is like a candle. When you light one candle from another candle, you don't lose anything, right? The fire keeps spreading, and you don't lose. It's also a menorah, right? For Hanukkah, it keeps spreading. It doesn't get diluted. So that's what many say. Okay. Gimel. Let's say somebody cannot make his Torah keva. But he learns. Then what are you supposed to learn? So you got to learn like what we're doing right now. The main thing is to learn the halachas that come up that you should know it. What happened to this? I don't know, because nobody does this. Not nobody, but most don't do this. You got to learn Agadah and Medrash and Sifrei Musar, that are based on holy mountains. Because those help to weaken the koyach of the Yetzer Hara. It's praised as somebody who has a chayk kavua to learn, and he shouldn't ever skip it over. Lilmad b'sefer chayk li Yisrael, what they call chayk. Right, chayk was done by the Arizal. That's why the Chabad is very much into it. It has in there Tanakh and some Gemara, Zohar, Halacha, and Musar. Tvar yom b'yom every day. V'chol ha'moisif, moisifin lo toivim min hashamayim, and whoever adds on more is moisif toivim min hashamayim. So we have in this Zoom, we have a morning chabura that learns a little bit more be'in. We have the Kittzur shir for halacha. Officially, we have Musar before the daf, and then we have daf. So we're trying. But here's the thing. So tonight, after we're saying that you can't pass it over, so now we're having a double learning tonight, because I'm not going to be available tomorrow night. So why is that right? So that's why I'm asking that the Olam should please tomorrow night at least learn some Kittzur to keep that kaviyah, that kaviyah is going. Myself too. Dalid. If you're learning, you have to go outside. Do not leave the sefer open. There's a mishkach talmudai. You're going to forget your learning.
It's only if nobody's in the room?
No.
It's stam yourself, even if other people are sitting in the room.
Yes, but then what it means is that you have to go outside. Like they say, going to the bathroom to make a coffee. These things are not considered stopping to learn. I don't remember who says that, but fine.
And therefore you can leave the safe open?
Therefore you can leave it open, yeah.
Putting like a paper or a tissue, is that good enough?
Well, that's really a bizayon. Even to put another sefer on top of the sefer, the price can say is a bizayon. Now you're not supposed to use a sefer for these type of reasons.
No, but tissue is used as a bookmark.
Yeah, okay. If it's a bookmark, then fine. But if it's not a bookmark, you just take it out of the box. So then it could be into bizayon. It could be just better.
Oh, just time to put it on top without posing.
Correct. All of a sudden, we become such we become such big masmidim that we can't close the Gemara, and then because we might chas v'shalom have to find the place, right? Like it's funny. Like who did I hear once say? Like we're so busy, all of a sudden we get in the car and we go on Zoom, not Zoom, we go on Waze to get as fast as we can to where we're going. But then when we get to where we're going, we sit on the internet and we sit on the chats for 15 minutes. Like, well, what did you need to save all that time in the traffic for? Right? For what? Yeah, so meaning like, yeah, so we don't want to close our Gemara, but then on the way out, we chop a schmooze with somebody and then whatever. Anyways.
A little musar.
Yeah.
Moise.
Yeah. Hey, tzarech lizar b'chol ma'ashehu loimed. You have to be careful with everything that you learn. Lahaitzi b'svasav. We're not going to like this one. This one is bad. This is bad for me for sure. When you have to be careful with everything that you learn, that you should enunciate it with your mouth. Ulashmiya la'aznav, and that it should be loud enough that you could hear it. Shenemar la'yomosh sefer Torah zamepicha v'gisaboy. Umisha moitzi b'svasav. If you verbalize it, afal pi she'ena maven, even if you don't understand the kayim mitzvahs ulamantem, then you're makayim the mitzvahs of you should teach. That's why even people that don't know how to learn.
Maybe that's why Rav David, when he went to his shir, said, "You'd gimel sifim."
Why?
To pronunciate everything.
Oh, I mean, even that's considered Torah. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Isn't it also not a real limud if it's not out loud?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. It has to be out loud.
No, he's saying it's for teaching. You are not yet teaching, no?
Well, I don't know who you're teaching, but that's what
you're
he
teaching
says.
Yourself. It sounds like you're teaching yourself by saying it out loud.
I would think, right?
So, but what about learning? Learning has to be make already know. He's
talking about it. He's saying that learning has to be verbalized. Yeah, so we'll get to it. Let's just finish it and then we'll discuss it. That's why he's before, meaning he says before the psukim, even though he doesn't understand what he's saying. Same thing when he goes up to Sefer Torah, right? Right, because by verbalizing it, you're still being kind some sort of mitzvah. This is very pro for those that learn Daf Yomi, especially in Zvachim. Anybody who's Isaac Torah and he's not able to understand because of his short brains, meaning he's not understanding because he doesn't have the brains. Yiskel Havina ba'olam haba. He will be Zaychid to understand it in Olam haba. Meaning, don't look at this world temporarily. Right? You forget. You're accomplishing for the next world. As long as you try. So now,
don't Hazal guarantee that somebody who learns he will eventually become a chacham?
Yeah, they say that. I don't know, but the question is, are you working hard enough to do it? That's meaning it's easy to say, but that's only if you work hard.
He sounds it's only in Olam Habo. He sounds like it's impossible. He's saying maybe there is going to be a case where the guy is not going to be hard enough, and eventually he will at least get it in Olam Habo.
That's what it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they say that the reason why you had to verbalize. Well, I'm sorry, I'm mixing it up with something else. But Lamaisa Shulchan Aruch Harab is very stark that you have to verbalize, and otherwise you're not getting your schar for learning. Lamaisa, the poskim all agree that if you need to think, right? If you need to think, so then you don't have to verbalize. And it seems like nowadays that people don't verbalize things, so then it doesn't have as much importance to verbalize. Back then, they verbalized everything. Nowadays, most people don't verbalize when they read. Yeah. So that's what we say. All right. We'll stop over there. Everybody should have a fine night. And we'll see you again Thursday night for another double Bez Hashem. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Don't get too hot in Arizona.
I don't think that's a problem.
Safe travel.
Maybe